that's here to help sort of deal with questions as they go along. So we have people from the community planning, from community development, Clark County Public Works, Clark County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and the Gorge Commission members to help uh, basically deal with questions as we go along. With with that in mind, keep in mind that, and I probably should make sure this is going on. Susan, have you started the recording?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. So this is being recorded as part of our public record. With that in mind, I will give the PowerPoint presentation and encourage the public to hold their questions and comments until the end of the presentation. Once the presentation is ended, the question and comment period will begin. So this might happen at one point or maybe kind of modified, but here's how we hope that you can participate. For attendees using the computer or WebEx application, if you would like to speak, please utilize the raised hand icon. This is, you can do this by clicking the participate button or icon, the location in which depends on the device you're using. Staff will only acknowledge those attendees during the public meeting who have raised their hand by selecting the hand icon. When you are acknowledged, you will be unmuted. When you have finished your comment, please click the icon again to lower your hand. For attendees using the telephone, audio only, option, you can press *3 on your phone number panel to raise your hand. You will hear a message that says, "You have raised your hand and to ask a question. Please wait to speak until the host calls on you." When you are acknowledged, you will be unmuted and you will hear a message that says, "You have been unmuted." When you have finished your comment, please press *3 to lower your hand. You will hear a message that says, "You have lowered your hand." Please note, public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person in order to accommodate all speakers. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get started with the agenda. So what I'm going to do is talk about the background, how we got to this point, the ordinance, Gorge ordinance updates overview from 2020 till now, and changes related to our code 4240 and also additional changes to 4510. And then we'll have our questions and answers and also next steps. With that said, here's some of the background. The Columbia River Gorge, excuse me. The Columbia River Gorge Commission was established in 1987 by the states of Oregon and Washington. The Commission's mission is to establish, implement, and enforce policies and programs that protect the National Scenic Area. In 1991, the Commission and the Forest Service adopted a management plan which helps keeps consistent standards and regulations with the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area and under Clark County Code 4240. Here is the entire gorge area that's in the National Scenic Area. And our portion, which is, if you can see my pointer right here near the 14, is the area that's within Clark County, which is a little under 8,000 square acres. 8,000 acres, sorry about that. Here it is close up, showing this and highlighted in blue is the area that we're talking about. Just a little bit of an overview. In October 13th of 2020, the Gorge Commission adopted revisions to the management plan as part of a 3-year update. The Gorge Commission focused on updates to increase protections in the scenic and natural resource chapters, as well as economic development, land uses, urban area boundaries revisions, and recreation chapters. The county the county adoption of revisions is mandatory under the National Scenic Area Act of 1986, which protects the Columbia River Gorge Scenic Area, along with RCW 4397015, the Columbia River Gorge Compact. Variations are allowed as they provide greater protections for gorge resources. The, the county has 270 days from March 16th, 2021 to adopt these revisions effective December 11th, 2021. Ordinance amendments go into effect after the Gorge Commission and the Secretary of Agriculture and the Forest Service concur, and that the amendments are consistent with the management plan. Here are some of the changes related to the Clark County Code. Update wetland protection policies to require a no loss of wetlands rather than the previous standard of no net loss. Allow cideries to follow the same guidelines as wineries. Allow fruit and produce stands to sell a broader range of agricultural products as other incidental material. Include new guidelines that some land use designations for owner-occupied overnight stay accommodations limited to 90 room nights per year. Exempts buildings that are 1,500 square feet or less from a compatibility guideline for scenic resource protection, and update guidelines for recreational developments, including new recreation setting, descriptions for each recreation intensity class. Update the agricultural income test for new dwellings on agricultural land, requiring applicants to produce $80,000 in gross agricultural income in 2020 and index annually to inflation before the dwelling can be permitted. These aren't all of the changes that occurred, and additional changes can be found on our website, on our webpage that shows the entire code document. Additional changes has to do with 4510. This would clarify how appeals for final decisions are heard by the Gorge Commission. And throughout 4240, replace the word mail with the word sent to be consistent with 4510 and its procedures. As far as participation, we created a web page, which you can go to now. This virtual public meeting to engage the public in questions and comments. We have SEPA distribution for comments. We also are having a meeting with Development and Engineering Advisory Board, DEEP, on this Thursday, along with Planning Commission work session and public hearing coming up. And then lastly, the County Council has 2 work sessions and a public hearing. Here's where we're at with the timeline. Right now, we've had one county work session back on August 18th. We're having the public meeting today on October 5th. On October 7th, we have a DEEP meeting and also a work session with the Planning Commission, followed by on October 21st, a Planning Commission hearing. Council will also receive a second work session because we realize that this is a working document. So we're knowing that they'll need another work session just to bring them up to speed and make sure they understand where we're at that time. And then lastly, we'll have a public hearing with the council on December 6th. The county will submit a approved ordinance to the Gorge Commission after that, and then the commission approves and submits it to the Secretary of Agriculture for concurrence. And then the Secretary of Agriculture concurrence of special management areas portion will be the final step. That concludes our presentation for this, and now we can kind of open this up to question and answer period. I'll stop sharing my screen for a second so you can actually see my face. There I am. So we wanted to go ahead and open this up to public comment and public questions. And we do have staff from Clark County as well as staff from the Gorge and our prosecuting attorney's office to help field some of those questions or comments. And then after that, if there's aren't any that we can't answer, then we will have you make them on the webpage, which is possible, as well as if we may even have time for another meeting with certain individuals if they have questions that are more in depth. So I open this up. And if you're having problems, let's see, with participating with regards to your audio, let's see.
All right, I see Nathan Baker has his hand up. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you. Actually, you're already unmuted, so go ahead. Floor is yours.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes.
This is Nathan Baker, Senior Staff Attorney with Friends of the Columbia Gorge, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the Clark County staff working hard on this project. It's largely a thankless task, so I wanted to make sure to say thank you. And it's a very big project as well. There's a lot of changes that were made to the Gorge Management Plan. And we Friends of the Columbia Gorge tracks all 6 counties in the National Scenic Area, and there's another county I won't name that's way behind Clark County, both in terms of substance and procedure for this project. So it's good to see Clark County doing this well. So I submitted some comments on Friday with some suggestions for the code, and several of the things that I flagged in there are actually some problems with the Gorge Management Plan language that we have discovered, after it was adopted, sort of things that we wish we had caught before it was adopted in December of last year. And so I mentioned in those comments that I would be speaking with the Gorge Commission's attorney, Jeff Litwack, about those things. We had that conversation yesterday, so I alerted him to all the issues. He seemed to agree that there were some issues, and he said that he has also caught some language in the Gorge Management Plan that should have been worded differently. And so in terms of follow-up, I expect that category is the issues that I will be following up on in formal comments. Things that should have been worded differently in the Gorge Management Plan, and now the solution is to change the wording in the Clark County ordinance, and hopefully in all of the counties as a first step toward getting the right language. So with that said, I guess I have only one question, and I know this is a working draft, and I know it's changing a lot. can you just clarify whether it has changed, this week yet? I mean, has it changed since last week? I'm referring to the contents of the code revisions.
Well, I think we, go ahead, Susan. I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm happy to field that if you want me to.
Sure.
So we are continuing to make changes. Honestly, I don't think anything has changed this week yet, but I will be working on additional changes this week. So yeah, it is going to continue to change.
Okay, thank you. And then I'd be happy to answer any questions about any of the issues that I've raised in my comments if and it's only been a couple of days since I submitted them, but if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
So do either of the other members of the public have any questions that we can answer?
I don't see any hands.
Yeah. Don't be shy.
And it looks like everybody should be able to unmute themselves if you are interested in asking a question. We're not positive about that because we're getting a message that frankly we haven't gotten previously, but we believe that you can unmute your own microphone. And Nathan, it seemed like you were able to unmute your own microphone. So
Yeah, it seemed that way. Yeah.
okay.
Well, I know my presentation wasn't that good. Well, there are other ways. If you are not sure if you have questions at this point and want more information on the ordinance itself, it is on our webpage. And if you have any need any further information, feel free to contact me as well. You know what? I think I might bring the end of the presentation up again just to show my information. Or information of where you can send comments as well. So
Mike, this is Oliver. Do you have the web link to the project page?
Let me see if I can find it.
I've got it, Mike. I can
Okay.
put that in the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. I added the link to the webpage for this project to the chat.
Okay. Well, not seeing any. I thank all of you that's participated, and feel free to contact me if you need. And thank you for showing up.
So this is Oliver again. I was anticipating that we may have more folks participating because I know that the Emela went out to more than 300 property owners in the Gorge. So there is still opportunity and time for folks to reach out to the project manager. And, thank you, Nathan, for your suggestions. And I believe there are some suggestions from the Gorge staff. As Susan indicated, we are going to be making additional changes. This is a working document, but we will at some point put out what will be going to the Planning Commission, and we will be posting all our document on the web page of the project, and folks can reach us there. This is a difficult time and challenging time. If this is more in person, I don't even know, given the COVID, how many people would show up. But be that as it may, there is opportunity for folks to provide comments on the web page itself, and we will be responsive to that as well. So as Mike indicated, this is supposed to go until 7:30, but it looked like we don't have folks commenting or wanting to say anything. Like Mike says, he must have done a good job in the presentation. The code, as Nathan indicated, is really large. And some of the changes, you will see some of them are substantial, some of them are just for clarification, some of them are not really new, but that's what we have to work with. And again, have to work with what is in the current management plan. Any additional stuff, we will find a way to deal with that. But currently we are working with what was transmitted to us as the final. So with that, Chris, do you have any suggestion for us to call it good? Don't know if Chris is muted or not.
Do you mean Christina or?
Oh, no, Miss Chris Cook.
Oh,
No,
okay, sorry.
Oliver, thank you. I do not have suggestions at this point. I would strongly encourage any members of the public who are here to ask any questions that you might have, because this is a group of people that aren't always available together in a group with a lot of different perspectives. So if there's something you'd like to know, please ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, with that said, thank you, Oliver. I think we will, hang on a second.
There's a message in the chat which appears to say that they will read. I'm not sure who that is from. Susan, can you help us with that?
Oh, it's from Jan B. He was on earlier and we talked with him a little bit. And it says, we need to read the content with changes highlighted. And so there is a version on our website that does have the strikeout and underline available, that you can see what changes were made. And then if you have questions after that, you could contact either me or Mike.
Yep.
This is Christina from the Gorge Commission, and I just wanted to thank you, Mike, for a very concise and thorough presentation.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, and Christina. We're going to be looking for all of you to help us through this because you have been there, and we greatly appreciate that, as well as Nathan and all those staff that are participating, from Brent to Richard to Rob. I cannot thank you, all of you, enough. So thank you, Mike and Susan and Larissa, pulling you to join us to make this work, but it looked like we got only a few comments. So thank you, everyone. We are going to, close and again, make ourselves available. I will encourage anyone to go to our webpage. There's so much document there. And we are looking forward to the Planning Commission hearing, which is the 21st. Hopefully, we will post any additional changes on that webpage, both the Planning Commission and the project webpage, so that folks will have an idea of how to contact us and continue to provide us comment, and reaching out to the project manager and as well as Susan. They are available, and myself, we are available to respond to your comments and incorporate as much as we can. And again, I am focusing on the transmittal that we received and trying to do our best to comply and make sure that our changes are consistent with the changes made to the Gorge recently. Any other thing, we can really talk about that. And when it comes through, we can move forward. So thank you, everyone. We're calling it done for the evening.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.